Drawing on the whiteboard's not near as easy as you think it is. So what do you got there, kiddo? You done? Okay. So put it down. Okay. Come here, kiddo. Come here. Come here. All right. She's done. X is less than negative 15. Okay, take a look. Somebody's saying, watch your arrow. We've got it. You've got a. Is that an arrow right there? Is that an arrow there? Huh?
Everything's really messed up.
Okay. Well, what if I do this for you? Because I know what you're doing. Okay. You see why it doesn't always look pretty up here? It's hard to draw, isn't it? Okay. And then put your negative 15 in the middle, and go negative 14 on one side, and go negative 16 on the other. Okay. Can you finish it now? You've got it. You just got to finish it now. Okay. And then which way's your arrow going to go? X has to be less than. Make that point there. Right there. I know. All right, you got it. Popcorn out and pick somebody else. I like this. You wonder why my writing looks weird or my stuff doesn't come together?
It's dirty. It's dirty.
Drive you nuts, doesn't it?
If it's dirty, it won't write as good. That's why you have to
All right.
good care.
As Michaela got it right. X is greater than 6. Darton, what do you see, bub?
I see it says the x is greater than 6 and it's going to negative.
So fix it. Which way should the arrow be going?
Erase it?
Go ahead, fix it. Pick up the eraser and erase it. That would be fine.
Erase.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. Is Darton correct?
Yes.
Yes. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Graphing we can do. You gotta pay attention to the direction and what the value is, okay? Now then, here's the question. Can we solve inequalities? Something I need you to listen to now. We've solved one-step equations, right?
Yes.
We did that all last semester. Now, it's no longer an equal symbol, it's an inequality, but it doesn't change the way you solve. You solve it the same way. Previously, if I said this was an equal symbol, how would you tell me to solve x minus 9 equals 8? How would you tell me to do it?
By finding out what x was.
Right, and how would I do it?
What plus, or, what do you subtract? Something minus 9 equals 8.
Okay, but how do I get rid of how do I do this one? How am I going to do it, Gabriel?
You're going to, it's easier if you do it, you put plus negative 9, and then you would add 9 to 9 to get it, to zero it out, and then you would add 9 to 8, which would be 17, and then x equals 17.
And x would equal 17, right? What if now I just throw my symbol back in?
What?
It's just greater than 17.
That's it.
That's cool.
X is less than 17. I solved it exactly like I've already been doing at this point. And I just keep the symbol. I don't care that it's there right now. It's not. So could I graph it now? Sure I could. I got my graph. Big deal. It's not a hard thing. 17, 18, 16,
Oh, you start to solve
x is less than. That's a 6, but it didn't come out that way. Okay? Does that make sense? Landon, do you know where I'm at? Do you know where that came from? I pretended I had an equal symbol there. I just, well, okay, so I'm going to pretend I got an equal symbol. And I'm going to solve it like it was an equation that we dealt with the equal symbols. And if I solved something with an equal symbol that looked like that, I'd say x minus 9 equals 8. Add opposite, right?
Yeah.
Plus 9 to get rid of it on both sides. I'm going to keep that balance.
Yeah.
This is now 0, so x equals 17. Well, this didn't have an equal symbol. I keep the less than symbol.
Okay.
Okay, Landon? This is the exact same stuff we were doing before Christmas. We just have inequality symbols right now.
Okay.
It's not a big deal. Okay? So, look at number 2. If I'm going to solve number 2, how do I get h alone? What am I going to add to number 2 to get rid of that 6? What am I going to add? 6 plus 6 is 12. Negative 6. These cancel and equal 0, so now I have h is greater than, well, what's 9 plus negative 6? 9 plus negative 6 is 3. Not negative 3, because the 9 had the greater absolute value. Okay? I want you to do number 3 on your own. I've modeled 2 of them. You do it. And yes, it does say to graph that one up here, so I can graph it. Don't let it trick you, because if that one's going to try to trick you. The graph of number 3 is going to try to trick you. Don't let it. You're graphing the solution set. Don't let the graph trick you. You tell me. Y has to be what? Okay, so where's these going to go? You got it. Your graph tricked you. Your graph tricked you. Good. You didn't let it trick you.
I did for a second.
Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah, you don't have the right solution set.
Oh, come on, what a second guess.
Good, you did not let it trick you. Good. All right. How many of you got the solution 13 is greater than or equal to y?
Me.
Did you get 13 is greater than or equal to y?
Yes.
Okay. Now then, here's what I saw on the trick. It wants to trip you up, folks. There's 13, 14,
12.
and 12. Is 13 part of the solution?
Yes.
Yes. So I can put a closed circle on 13.
Yes.
But now it says 13 is greater than or equal to y. You're graphing the y value. So if 13 is greater than y,
You have to go.
that means y has to be
12.
less than 13. So at this point, you've got to draw your line this way.
Yes.
Yes, sir, Mr. Case.
If the variable is the first thing in the inequality, then you just follow where the arrow points.
You're absolutely correct.
It doesn't work
If-
for this one though, because it says it's after.
Because it's opposite.
Oh, so you have to do the opposite.
If the variable is sitting on the left side of the equation,
It's
you
not-
just follow that arrow.
Yeah.
But if the variable is setting on the right side,
you do
you have to do the opposite on the arrow.
Wait, what? So like, I don't know why.
Look here, both of
Oh,
these
it's pointing.
follow, yeah,
Where?
follow that.
Okay, yeah, I see. I was confused because like
What
alligator
about
instead
the
of
bottom?
You have to do the opposite, this is the difference. If the variable's over here, then you have to do the opposite on the arrow.
Oh, I was thinking the way the
yeah, the like
the
more of the
alligator
alligator
is,
than
that
the
thing
point.
you- yeah.
Oh, I don't do alligators.
That's what we were always taught.
Okay, when I say the arrow or the point,
It's
when I say the arrow or the point, I'm talking, I'm sorry, when somebody shoots that deer, it's not the back part of the arrow that's gonna kill it. It's that tip of that arrow that's gonna kill that deer. And so to me, I see it as a point. That's because I think of hunting. Yeah, I know, I'm kind of strange sometimes. Okay, not all ladies do that, but that's just kind of where I am.
Not the arrow, it's person.
All right, number 4, do number 4. You got table check, okay? Matthew had table check. Table check.
Oh, geez.
Table check. Make sure that's a straight arrow, okay? Okay. Table check.
You need 12 problems. You see 12 problems on this.
Table check. Julian's got table check, but yes, that's correct. Yes. What do you need, Monique? This is the math assignment from yesterday? Okay. I'll put it right there for right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You have two returns for that. I didn't do it.
Does yours look like that?
Yes.
If it does, you've done a good job. We're gonna shut the mouths down because we're starting just to have that all-around chit-chat. Okay, just a little bit of why this works. We had the addition property of equality, meaning you added the same thing to both sides. We also have the addition property of inequality, which is the same thing. You have to maintain that balance. We also have heard of the subtraction property of equality, which tells you you have to do what to what. If you do it to one, you have, what is the subtraction property of equality?
You have to subtract one to the other.
You have to subtract from both sides, good. Subtraction property of inequality, exact same thing. They just added an in, not equal, okay? Just a little, so that you're aware, that's what we're working with. Get her done. X minus 5 is less than negative 3. Do it, solve it, graph it. the solution, right? If X and get her done. You're right. Don't question. You're good. You're right. Totally agree. Yeah. Oh, wait. X and my brain had to look at it. Yeah. So X is what?
X is less than
X is less than 2?
No.
Open. Is that what you did?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about fist to 5? How do you feel? Okay. All right. I'm going to skip down to, let me see here. Let me see, what is this one? Okay. This one's a little bit different, only because the variable is on the right. So solve it and graph it. I want to know you can do this one on your own. Solve it and graph it. When you get done, check with your shoulder partner and see what they get. See if the two of you agree. Did you two compare? Are they different? Not 2 for sure. Oh, well, definitely. Oh, you added this and this together. Oh, no. You're close, but not quite. Okay, all the extra side chat, turn off. You're just looking at them, you're whispering, we both agree, we don't agree, we have a little bit of conversation about math. Not about what's for lunch or anything else. What is? Okay. Caitlin. Well, you tell me what is your, what do you get when you solve it? What did you get? So you got this when you started, right? Okay, that is correct. And then when you graphed it, did you graph it like that?
Yes.
Does yours look like that? If it does, you are correct. Okay, you know where you, what got you there, Mr. John?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Let's do a little bit of a story problem. I'm gonna skip a couple of slides. I wanna give you time to work on your assignment. A person can be no taller than 6 25/100ths of a foot. What's my inequality symbol? Raise your hand and tell me. No taller than. What's my symbol gotta be? Michaela.
Equal to or less than.
Equal to or less than. I totally agree. No taller than 6 foot 25 and a whatever, hundredths of a foot. To become an astronaut pilot for NASA. Your friend is 5 feet 9 inches tall. Write and solve an inequality that represents how much your friend can grow and still meet the requirement. What's wrong with what I've got that might cause a problem for me? What could create a problem for me in it the way it is? Olivia?
The 6.25 feet is in like,
It's feet.
but it's not inches, and the other one is the inches.
You cannot compare different increments of measurement. So your first thing I'm gonna have to do is convert them either both to feet completely or both to inches completely. Which way do you want to do it? Alice?
I would rather go to inches and like so 0.25 or 25 hundredths is a fourth is 1/4, which is equal, and 1/4 of 12 inches is 3 inches.
Okay, so you're converting to inches there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying 6.25 is the same thing as 6 feet and 3 inches or 4, what'd you say? 4 inches, yeah.
Three.
It is, you're right. 6 feet, 3 inches, okay? She says 6.25 feet is the same thing as 6 feet, 3 inches. Do you guys agree with her?
Yes.
Everybody knows where that came from,
Yes.
okay? So I've got 5 feet, 9 inches. How much can I grow? What's the maximum I could grow? What is the maximum I can grow? Gabriel?
6 inches.
6 inches, Gabriel?
Yeah.
And how do you know?
Because
How'd you do it?
9 plus 3 is 12, and then plus 3 is 6. Because there's 12 inches in a foot.
Plus 3 is 15, 9. I agree with the 6 inches. 6 inches is correct. I personally, though, would have said, I did some regrouping, and I would have said, well, 1 foot, if I take a foot off, then I have to add 12 to that 3. And that's how I would have done mine.
Oh, I'm up.
But you did it the way he did too? Okay,
Yeah.
2 different, okay. Landon, do you understand and realize that 1 foot equals 12 inches? Yeah, and so here I would have had 12 plus 3 inches, which would have been 15 minus 9. So that's another way of doing it, 2 different. Okay, so you're good with that now? Okay, so 6 inches. So write the inequality. We said, what was our inequality symbol? Less than or equal to. So he can grow, or X is my growth. And where does the 6 inches go? On the right, doesn't it? I can grow a maximum of 6 inches or less to still make the astronaut. Okay. This wasn't a simple, I mean, it wasn't hard, but you had to take it step by step by step. Okay? And that's something we don't like to do. I know you don't. I've seen it. Okay? Your cousin is 5'3" tall. Write and solve an inequality that represents how much your cousin can grow using what we just did. You figure it out. I'm not doing it. You figure it out.
1%.
And this is going just right off of number 6 that we did as a group. That is accurate. So how much can your cousin grow? Yes, I agree. you have done it and I verified it, your assignment is written there and you may go ahead.
Do you want me to
Yes,
write
I
on
agree.
red since that we see in some of these,
You can, yeah.
the ones that we see?
I agree. I agree. Yep. Yes. I agree. Good job, David. 5 minutes, stop this video.